For the audience, please, whoever wants to ask questions, kindly introduce yourself and whether you are a consumer or representing an organization, please.
Yes.
Yes,
My
yes.
name is Alberto Balatti. I'm Italian, as you can get from the accent. I lived in Malta since a few years ago, but I live in different European countries. My intervention is as a consumer, but I'm coming from a different experience because I'm a business advisor or a board advisor. I spent a lot of time as independent board members inside different corporations throughout Europe, so I have a very balanced point of view of what happens on this stuff. As a consumer, what I would like to say is, obviously, law is a very good thing to protect consumers. Enforcement of the law is much better. But what I believe the best things to do is to have a very open market. Without competition, you can have a lot of businesses that, like the lady was saying, don't want to self-regulate it. If they don't, if you have a market, they will disappear. So the first thing that I would like to put to your attention is that if you move in a way to over-regulate businesses, in some way you are protecting the incumbents because more barriers you have to enter in a market for compliance, more difficult it is to be a newcomer. I spent a lot of my time inside borders, and unfortunately they spent a lot of their time looking to things that are compliance 60% of the time in a border. And they are not lawyer and not a lawyer as well. Secondly, they spend time in finding the way to reduce competition, making agreement, cartels, oligopolies agreements, that kind of stuff. Instead of spending time in innovation, in improving their service, in improving their products. So that's what really happens. So moving to a lot of action in open and increase the competition and having really a one market. I'm moving now to Malta. It's very clear to me. I give you just a few examples of about what happens. If you look at the sector that get a lot of complaints around the world and in Europe and Malta as well are the utilities. So I'm talking about energy, banking, insurance, that kind of stuff. I give you an example. The last country where I was lived, you can open a bank account and you can count the numbers of hours that you have to spend to open an account. Here you have to count the numbers of months to open an account. The solution is very simple. You have to just have the opportunity for someone that's selling banking services that can sell services independently from the country where they are based, and the consumer or a business can use this service independently from the country where they are based. That's the way. I give you another example. Very basic, but just to understand what is reality. I have a lift. Anyone in Malta now needs a lift because they are looking to move with the higher buildings. You have someone that is doing maintenance. If it is not doing well and you want to change it, and you find that your supplier of the services is the only one in Malta that can get the parts of the lift, how can you change it? That's what will really protect consumers, not just regulations or over-regulations. I give you another example. We have a practical experience using the European local consumer service to protect the consumer, because I'm a consumer as first. And we have two practical examples. One is based in Malta, the other one was based in Italy or in Germany. What the feeling was that the local, branch was just protecting the local traders, because they are, we say in Italian, passacarte, you can understand very well, At the end of the story, if you want a solution as an individual, not for a collectivity of the collective, claims against very big cases like diesel or that kind of stuff, at the end of the story, you have to go to the court. But if you want to keep a better protection of consumer, means smoother, less cost and less time, you cannot go to the court. So you should use these local offices like a point where you have to find a solution, a conciliation point. Otherwise, it's more or less unuseful to spend time with the people. And it's unuseful that you can fund that structure, because doesn't work. Because if a consumer has to move to a court level, you know, is just a double step you have to follow. That's my point of view. And I would like to be very, again, insist on this point. I'm a very balanced, because I'm on the business side, but I never forget that I'm a consumer. And I think in this way, if you follow this very simple and smooth path, a lot of citizens, European citizens, will love the Commission. And the small business will love the Commission as well. Because for Malta, there is a lot of excuses in the small business. They can not compete well because they are in a small market. But if they can work on a larger market, in the way I was trying to explain to you, they don't have this excuse anymore. Thank you.